much. First of all, I want to congratulate all the other recipients tonight. I join everyone else in congratulating and celebrating your achievements. Armando Durazo wanted me to mention, in fact, he begged me to mention that he forgot to mention during the video interview that he worked with Frank del Olmo and that he was proud of that fact and part of that history because Frank was a pioneering journalist, one of the many pioneers that paved the way for the rest of us to come then and do what we've been able to do. I want to thank Lorena Mendez, who you saw in the film just now, for her unflinching support and encouragement. I want to thank Debbie Tedford of NPR, who joined me tonight. And by the way, she happened to break a story recently about Carlos Slim buying a significant interest in the New York Times. Something to watch. One thing I want to point out is that people often ask me, well, you know, how did you get through this? How do you do it? And the threats and the intimidation. And there was at one point, fortunately for me, I was tipped off in time, but there was an arrest warrant released for me in Ciudad Juarez. But again, we have such good sources that I got called in time that they told me, don't come to Juarez right now, there's an arrest warrant for you. And I did confirm that through the U.S. Consul's office. And I could go on and on with those kind of war stories, but one thing I would like to point out, my mother, Teresa, could not be with me tonight. She has a hard time getting around. But when people ask me, how do you do it, I have to say, well, it's my mother. She provided the example to me of how to respond to adversity and to obstacles. And so whenever I had to figure out how to respond to the latest something, I would stop and think, well, my mother, what did she do? How did she respond? How did she react? What was her action? And I remember that watching her growing up, she confronted everything head on. She put things in perspective and then moved forward. But she did it with poise. And so I have my mother to thank for, and many other madres aquí we have to thank for. I thank you very much for this recognition, more so because to me it represents the contributions of many, many, many people who helped me along the way so that I was able to provide a venue, a platform for the mothers and their daughters and victims that could have a voice once and for all. And I'm just catching my second wind, so we're not done yet, okay? Thank you very much.